Happy Freelance Friday, everybody. My name is Jay Sheik. I'm a comic book artist, illustrator, art professor. And last week I kicked off really a series on the 10 things or 10 questions you should ask before signing the dotted line on a collaboration agreement, specifically to make a comic book. And today I wanted to talk about how credits and billing, as in not like how you bill for money, but how you actually bill the creative team within that credit structure on a comic, how that should be established. So the two most obvious are going to be the writer of that comic and the artist. Very often, like in the case of me and Hush Ronan, those two people are the same person. And it's kind of heads or tails who gets top line on that. Usually my opinion is whoever wrote the comic and came up with the story idea should get top billing. Although I've had some writers who insist on giving me as the artist top billing, because usually the artist, in terms of work product, produces more really than anybody else on a given comic book. What this is really about, though, is billing for the other creative factors in a comic book, i.e. your colorist, who can be sometimes an unsung hero in that process, and absolutely your letterer, who is probably the most taken for granted of any comic book collaborator, contributor. I've talked about the importance of a letterer before, but they are very much like the sound design to a film or the drummer in a rock band. They're absolutely essential. When I hired letterer Leland Bjerg to letter my comic book Hush Ronan, I had promised him his name would be on the cover of the comic, and unfortunately I didn't get that information to the publisher in time to make good on that for issue 1, but by the time issue 2 came out about 6 months later, we had corrected that error, so Leland got the same billing as myself on that book. And deservedly so. He did an amazing job of lettering that comic, and I look forward to having him do issue 3 whenever I can get around to finishing it. But before you sign on the dotted line, make sure that you have some establishment of who is going to be credited with what and in what order on the comic, because you don't want to have hurt feelings or unmet expectations later on. And as ever, thank you all for stopping by.